Alright, welcome back to Play and Trade Guitars. I'm John, that's Zach behind the camera, and this is Play and Trade Guitars, where we play it and trade it. I've been showing you the new Epiphone inspired by Gibson Custom collection of amazing electric guitars, and today we're checking out, look at this, incredible, the 1963 Les Paul SG Custom. Yep, they redesigned the Les Paul in '61. It became what would eventually be referred to as the SG. And this one is decked out. This is the SG Custom with the split diamond headstock, Maestro Vibrola, which was added in '63, and 3 Custombucker pickups. I'll tell you everything you need to know about this guitar when we put it on the bench and pull it apart. And of course, we'll plug it in and play it. But at the top, if you're in the market for the SG Custom or any other guitar or gear, click to buy that gear using our link. It helps us make these videos, and in the States, you'll get fast free shipping, easy payment plans, and Europe, you can check our Thomann link all down below or pinned in the comments. We're also giving away an American-made Martin acoustic guitar when we hit 100,000 subscribers. To be in it to win it, hit subscribe now and sign up via Gleam. That's also down below. Without further ado, let's check out the new Epiphone inspired by Gibson Custom 1963 Les Paul SG Custom. Did I just say that twice? All right, outrageously cool. Check this out. You've got the classic white color, vintage original Sheen finish. It's kind of like a matte, kind of semi-gloss finish, if you will. But this is the real headline. As I continue to tell you about this series, they put the real Gibson open book headstock on an Epiphone. Game changing, very cool. This price point is $14.99, and it's gonna have a lot of upgraded features which look fantastic, like real mother of pearl split diamond inlays, block inlays on an ebony fretboard, bound ebony fretboard, SlimTaper neck shape, very playable, and with the double cutaway of the SG design, get all the way up to that top fret, no problem. Maestro Vibrola, I actually really like the newly designed Epiphone Maestro Vibrola. It sounds solid in the hands. And then a trio of Custombucker, true Custombucker pickups. These are expensive pickups, $500 for a set, and you got a bonus one. So what is that, like $750 worth of pickups or something? Insane on this guitar. Standard controls, gold hardware, Lear tailpiece, and just really a beauty. They've got this commemorative kind of double diamond mark to commemorate the collaboration between Epiphone and the Gibson Custom shop. And just a nice looking guitar. Let's head over to the bench and pull it apart before we plug it in. But you can see Jimi Hendrix sporting something like this, and it's got a look to it. Incredible. All right, beautifully bound Les Paul Custom style headstock with the split diamond inlay done in mother of pearl, Epiphone logo, but again with that true Gibson open book mustache headstock. Gold hardware, Grover's on here. You can see the emblem I was telling you about, the double diamond for the Gibson Custom collaboration. And then you've got this kind of semi-gloss finish they call VOS, or Vintage Original Sheen. And it's going to be a SlimTaper neck. We'll get measurements on in a second. Bound neck with a true ebony fretboard, mother of pearl block inlays. Because of these Florentine cutaways, SG style, no problem getting all the way up to the upper fret here. 22 frets on this guitar. Les Paul Custom emblem here between the fretboard and the pickups, and then 3 pickups, all Custombuckers, which is a huge value here and a major upgrade for this guitar. You got the gold Maestro Vibrola with the Lear tailpiece, and then you got these really cool top hat knobs with the gold as well. And it all comes together. It's a beautiful package. 3-ply pick guard, and then flipping it over, you can also just see that emblem repeated here on the control cavity cover, which will open up. But let's get the strings out of the way and get some measurements. Nut comes in at 1.68 inches, first fret at 0.82 inches, up to a 12th fret of 0.93 inches. It's a one-piece mahogany neck and then mahogany body. Thickness here comes in at 1.44 inches thick. All right, flipping over these trio of Custombuckers, geez. So a few interesting things. We do have a long neck tenon on this guitar. And then you can see it's actually not like a swimming pool route. It's actually routed with their own individual compartments, which is pretty interesting here. All Custombuckers. So it might not be as obvious at first, but you look at this, and if you think about it, we just have a normal Gibson 3-way toggle switch, right? But we've got 3 pickups. So clearly we're gonna have less switching options compared to like a Stratocaster, where you have a 5-way blade that gives you a lot more control over which pickups are engaged. In this case, I'll flip on the multimeter and we can find out, or I'll show you together here what this switch will do. We have the Custombucker and bridge reading 7/7, so treble and rhythm will behave as normal. Rhythm is going to be just the neck pickup at 7/7, and it's in middle position. That's kind of the question mark, right? What happens when it's in middle position? We can tell from the multimeter at 3/8, it's not just isolating the middle pickup. What it's actually doing, we actually have both pickups on at the same time, and they're wired out of phase for kind of a distinct out of phase kind of Peter Green sound, which is really cool. So in middle position, we're using both bridge and middle out of phase. You'll hear that when I plug it in. But pretty interesting choice of controls. There's a lot of room on these, I think, for more tonal options, but that's traditionally what you're going to get here. So Maestro Vibrolas are not known for necessarily the most accurate tuning. They have the ability to slip, and what you kind of have, the way that it holds on here, and I'll slide it out and show you. You've got this groove and then this lip, and basically you just have a flexible piece of metal here that when you put all this back together, the actual wiggle is just coming from the bend in this metal plate here. And these aren't actually welded together or anything. So if it slips out of alignment, which is harder to do under string tension, it can lead to some tuning problems for sure. All right, inspired by Gibson Custom emblem here on the control cavity cover. We'll lift that up, take a look. Hand-wired electronics, 500K pots. Looks pretty good under there. Weight comes in at 8 pounds, 4 ounces. We're talking about 8.25 pounds, which for an SG is pretty heavy. We do have a little bit of extra bling, the extra pickup, the Maestro Vibrola, and tailpiece, but pretty heavy. I also noticed that the body thickness is actually a little thicker than a typical SG. So heavier side for an SG for sure. I like a good 6.5 pound SG. And flipping the guitar around for initial reaction. Pretty good action on the Maestro Vibrola. You know, the thing about having 3 pickups is you're going to be bumping into them, and it's just something you got to get used to with this style of guitar. And my picking lane is right kind of in the middle between the bridge and neck, leaning maybe a little bit closer to the neck by the time I put my hand down. And all I'm going to be doing is hitting this middle pickup every time. You can drop a comment and let me know if that's your jam. And tell me the biggest kind of selling point to you of a 3 pickup guitar. It can be kind of a powerhouse, so we'll plug it in a second. Remember, if you're in the market for this guitar or any other gear, click to buy new gear using our link. It helps us make these videos. And like I said, we're gonna plug this in. It's my favorite part. I'll show you clean tones, we'll dirty it up, and then let it sing behind the track. On the other side of that, I'll give you my raw, honest reaction to playing this guitar along with a final score, so stay tuned for that and drop a comment as we go. Let's plug in and see what this monster can do. It certainly looks beautiful. Let's see how it sounds. right, I'll tell you what this is. This is a big sound in this incredible looking SG Custom, but it's a whole lot of theater too. And what I mean by that is, what could be more perfect guitar if you're not gonna play this as your main guitar, to come out with a showpiece, maybe like for a song or two, or like end the night just ripping on this 3 pickup SG Custom. It really makes a statement. And looks aren't everything, but when it comes to looks on this one, it's a knockout. You stuck with me to the end. I'm gonna give you my final score. I based that on 3 categories: overall playability, overall sound, and overall value. Let's kick it off with playability. I will say right out of the gate that the thing that makes this guitar less playable is it has an extra pickup in the middle. It is unavoidable to have a lane of picking that doesn't interfere. You know, and it kind of just is what it is. There is a pickup in the way of your pick, and it's just part of the deal. However, I do think that the trade-off is with 3 custom buckers, you're getting a lot of sound here. Wrapping up playability, SlimTaper neck, very easy to play. This semi-gloss VOS finish, they call it, is really playable. It's like a satin finish. It's poly, but it's similar to like a satin nitro. With the SG cutaway, you can get all up and down the neck, no problem. Nice SlimTaper. Shape of the neck is fantastic. Ebony always feels good too. It's a nice playing experience. So overall playability, the only detractor is, it's kind of the blessing and curse of that 3rd pickup, is that I am bumping into this middle pickup. And it's part of the deal, but I'm gonna go ahead and give it an 8.2 on overall playability. Otherwise, apart from that extra pickup, which I understand is kind of the point, it would be rated higher. I would probably rate it a 9.2, absent that issue that I'm having with picking, but I'm gonna give it an 8.2 because if you're gonna stick a 3rd pickup on a guitar, you should be aware it's gonna get in your way. It's just part of the deal. All right, let's talk about overall sound. 3 custom buckers, so over the top, and they all sound great. And what you're getting as a bonus is in middle position, you are getting an out-of-phase sound between middle and bridge. And it's not as pronounced as an out-of-phase sound between neck and bridge, probably because that distance is shorter. But it is usable and it sounds really cool. And it's a nice contrast to just the straight bridge and neck sounds. Now, because this isn't a Stratocaster with a 5-way blade switch, it is a little bit counterintuitive that with all these extra pickups, you're not given extra selection in terms of choosing combinations of pickups. It's still just the standard toggle, meaning I can only select all bridge, all neck, or that bridge middle. That's it. There's probably other ways to wire this up that would give you more configurations, but that would require modifications. Overall sound from the custom buckers themselves, I was really impressed both with dirt and clean. Sounds, I can't fault it at all. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 9.3 on overall sound. One little bonus there too, I am always pleasantly surprised by the Epiphone Maestro Vibrola. It really does hold its tuning pretty well considering, and it also has a nice solid feel. Of all the trem arms out there, the worst is when they're kind of loose and wiggle too much on you. This one has such a solid feel that it actually makes it more playable and sound better, so it adds points to both of those categories. Then let's talk about overall value. It is on the more expensive side of this line of guitars. However, it has an extra custom bucker in it, and like I said, that's like $750 worth of pickups right there. You have the real mother of pearl inlays against a true ebony board. You've got the hard shell case. You've got just the uniqueness of this particular guitar. Just a total knockout. And like I said, I mean, this will steal the show. You come out at the right moment with this guitar and it's gonna make a statement. And I love that. Overall value, even though it's more expensive than the SG Custom that Epiphone already makes, which is $629 with 2 Epiphone Pro buckers. It's a little bit of a different beast, but still a beautiful guitar if you want to save some money. This is the souped up version with the Gibson headstock. I'll give it a 9.0 on overall value. It's going to bring us to a total score for the 63 Les Paul SG Custom of 8.8. I like it. I don't love it. I probably wouldn't make it my main axe, but you pull this out at the right moment and you are going to make a statement, like I said. Drop a comment. Let me know what you think of the SG Custom. It's beautiful. It's got great sounds. It's hard to knock it because it's just so cool. And that's where I'll leave it there. Check out the rest of our demos on this series. We've got the Firebirds, the 59 Les Paul, the Les Paul Custom, and the 355, all worth checking out. You can click this link if you're in the market to buy any gear. You'll find that pinned in the comments or down in the description. When you buy gear using our link, it's really gonna help us make these demos, and you get fast free shipping, easy payment plans, and everything else I told you about. Don't forget about our giveaway. We're giving away that Martin when we hit 100,000 subscribers. Make sure you're subscribed. If you haven't, hit subscribe now, turn on notifications, and enter via Gleam. All that's down below. For Play and Trade Guitars, I'm John, that's Zach, and this is Play and Trade Guitars, where we play it and trade it. See you next time.